Hello friends, Intuitive Rene here, bringing you your Friday pick a card. And we're doing something again, just a little bit differently today. As you can see, I do have my charms on screen, which means that we are going to do some amazing charm readings. I've also got my Osho Zen Tarot deck here, which we will use as well, just to get some additional information. But today we're going to be working with the angels, and we're going to ask all of the angels to connect with us. We're going to do a little ceremony to invoke them, to draw them in, to ask them to connect with us today, and to see what message they have for us. This piece of paper that you're seeing in the background here, I have created a bit of a casting map or a casting sheet, which I want to work with to help us with getting messages from the angels using the charms and using the tarot. But before we get into that, before we actually start with our readings, I would like to I want you to work with me, and I want you to just help me call in and invoke in the angels. So before we call in and before we invoke the angels, I want to just set the mood. I'm going to light the candle. I have got my incense sitting here on the table ready. I have got my, this one is frankincense. And oh my gosh, can I now forget what this one is? Sandalwood, of course. Sandalwood incense and frankincense. So just let's start by lighting our candle, and hopefully my fan is not going to blow the candle out continuously. Let's just see how it goes. See if the candle holds its light, and I want to just get our incense going. I do have my incense holder here. And the incense that I use is stick-free incense, so I just have to drop it into the holder. I don't have to try and put it into the side. So we are starting off with sandalwood. I love the energy of sandalwood. I find it's quite grounding. I find it's quite soothing, quite therapeutic, and just helps me to feel connected. And then I'm also using frankincense as an offering, just to call in the angels and to ask Spirit to connect with us. I don't know if this candle's gonna last throughout. Okay, and just dropping that into the box. So if you do see some smoke wafting from the box, just know that it is the incense, and I promise I'm not setting anything on fire. All right, I do have, I'm just going to move this slightly out of the way. I do have 3 crystals here in front of me, and these crystals are to help you choose which bundle you want to work with today. So we have got some tiger's eye, just a small piece of tiger's eye for bundle 1. I have got some pink tourmaline for bundle 2, and I have some gold pyrite for bundle 3. So this is to help you choose which bundle you want today, which bundle from, or which message from the angels is going to have exactly what you need. At this point, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath. I'm going to ask you to center yourself and ground yourself. And I want you to just pay attention to what I'm going to say now. And, you know, just allow it to happen in the way that it needs to. Just join me as we call in and as we invoke in the angels. I call upon Archangel Michael and his legions of angels to clear all negative influences from any source within and around each one of us. Cleanse us and give us the courage and the strength for the next phase of our lives. Guide us along our highest path of greatest good. Show us the way. I call upon Archangel Raphael and the legions of healing angels to heal us on all levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, throughout all time frames and dimensions. Return our body, soul, and spirit to wholeness and balance. I call upon Archangel Gabriel and the legions of messenger angels to bring us messages, guidance, hope, and inspiration that is perfect for us right now, in the most perfect ways, so that we will have all the loving guidance that we need right now. I call upon Archangel Jophiel and the angels of joy to lift our spirits and to bring us joy, happiness, love, laughter, lightness of heart, and love of life. I call upon Archangel Metatron to purify our spirit and life, and to allow us to be a purer channel of God's love and service to others. Bless our life in the highest and most appropriate ways. I call upon Archangel Chamuel to heal, to harmonize, and to bless all the relationships in our lives, so that we might spread greater harmony, love, and light upon the earth wherever we go. And I call upon the legions of angels of abundance to bring us all that we need for this journey through life, and to shower us with abundance and riches appropriate for all of us in all areas of our lives, so that we might know that we are truly blessed. So mote it be. It is done. Thank you. So now all you have to do, now that we have called in and we have invoked our angels and we've asked our angels to connect with us and to guide this whole reading today, all you need to do is to choose which of these crystals are you drawn to, which of these are going to have the message, the reading, the guidance, and the inspiration that you need. And once you know whether you're going for bundle 1, bundle 2, or bundle 3, you may use the timestamps below to fast forward and to go straight to that portion of the reading where we are going to use charms, casting sheet, as well as the Osho Zen Tarot to get an awesome message from the angels, exactly what it is that you need to hear today. Right, so I'm going to stop waffling and let's get straight into it. See you there. Hello and welcome to those of you who chose the Tiger's Eye as the crystal that has the message, the reading, the guidance, and the inspiration that you need today. And I have a casting sheet that I have created. This is my own creation. I've just listed the archangels that I want to work with today and their area of speciality. I have pre-shuffled and drawn 2 cards from the Osho Zen Tarot, which I have placed over here, and we are going to work with the charms. So I'm going to give the charms a shuffle and I'm going to drop them onto the casting sheet, and then we will read the charms as they lie. When I shuffle the charms, it does get quite loud, and if you are sensitive to sound, especially if you are wearing headphones, just know that when I shuffle, you may want to mute the sound, and then when you see that I've put the bowl of charms away, you can put the sound back on again. So just a warning that the sound might be quite loud. I'm going to shuffle now, so this would be a good time to mute the sound if you want to. I'm going to shuffle and cast some charms. Right, welcome back. If you did mute the mute the sound, let's have a look and see what we've got happening here. So there's quite a few charms that have landed, and I'm quite fascinated that they've all sort of landed in this middle section. When I created this casting sheet earlier on, at first when I did it, I didn't have the circle. I had it just, coming to a point, each of the pie pieces. And then I thought, no, I wanted to put my logo on because I do love my butterfly, and the butterfly is all about transformation. It's all about transformation and change, and I felt like that's what each of these angels are working with us and helping us with today. So I thought anything that landed in the middle here would be whatever needed transformation and change in our life. So there's a couple of things that are sort of jumping out at me here. So let's go through them. We're going to have a look at the tarot towards the end of the reading, but we're going to start off just looking at what is significant and what is important. I don't know if you can see, but right over here we have got a guitar lying on top of the moon. We have got a boot, so definitely we've got some kind of music and cowboy kind of theme taking place here. And immediately when I say cowboy, what I'm hearing from spirit, and sorry, I'm also there noticing now the moustache, we're noticing the gun. So there's quite a lot of cowboy kind of, and the horse, they're showing me all of these things. But cowboys are brave and courageous, aren't they? Cowboys are people who have strong morals, strong belief systems, and they stand by that. They don't allow anybody to sway them. They don't allow anybody to, convince them otherwise. They stand their ground. They stand in their beliefs, and they stand solid in who and what they are. When we look at Archangel Michael over here, and we all know that he is our protector. Archangel Michael is the one who looks out for us and protects us and keeps us strong. We have got a horse and rider over there by Archangel Michael, and we also have a baby pram. what I'm interpreting here with the baby, so both of these, I mean, what does the pram do? The pram protects the baby while in transit, while in movement, while we're going through the shops or whatever it is. When your baby is in the carriage, when your baby is in the pram, it is safe, it is protected. So it is about protection. What does the horse do? The horse is what helps us to get to places quickly. The rider is riding the horse, and you can see that the horse is galloping and running forward. So Archangel Michael is saying to you, things are progressing incredibly quickly in your life, and you may be feeling incredibly vulnerable. You may be feeling as if you are exposed to the elements, but actually you are quite safe and you are quite protected. But it is important that you acknowledge that. It is important that you see that. And whatever the protection is around you, I mean, honestly, we're not all sitting in prams, but whatever the protection is around you, whatever is happening, and you may be feeling a little bit restricted by this, you may be feeling a little bit irritated and restricted by whatever this is in your life. And this is Archangel Michael saying to you, trust it, go with it, don't resist and don't fight it. Know that you are being protected because things are moving incredibly quickly. There's a lot of progress, a lot of things happening, and you need as much protection as you can get. The fact that we have this cowboy boot, almost, I'm going to call him upside down, in towards the Archangel Michael block, to me, again, what does that boot do? It is a status symbol. It is a sign of significance. It is a sign of who you are, but that boot also keeps you safe. It's a form of protection, isn't it? So there is a lot of protection that is happening, and Archangel Michael wants you to know that you are safe and that you are protected. Here by Raphael, Archangel Raphael, who is the angel of healing. We have an angel here. I know this angel was sort of bordering across the two, but I am going to put him here with Raphael. And we have the sign over here as well. So again, it's saying to you, we need to go back to basics. We need to go back to our roots. We need to call in Archangel Raphael for any healing that needs to take place. When we do chanting, when you just sit quietly and just repeat get that vibration going, that sound, that vibration, that energy that you're attracting to yourself is the healing that Archangel Raphael is saying that you need at the moment. It seems like Gabriel doesn't have a message for us, but what we have over here, and I just want to turn it over. So we have a wise owl. Yes, the wise owl is in the center, it is in the core of our message, but it's also overlapping towards the Raphael block and towards Gabriel. And Archangel Gabriel's message for you, what I'm getting from the owl and from the healing from Raphael, is saying to you that you need to recognize it's time to start paying attention and listening to the wise people in your life. Don't feel like everybody's just out to get you. Don't feel like everybody just is asserting their own opinions. You need to pay attention to the wise people. There is somebody who is hooting or wooting, however you want to say what an owl does, all the time, constantly at you, and it's all getting a little bit too much. You need to stop paying attention. You need to start listening. You need to start being mindful. Let the healing happen, whatever the healing needs, but the message for you is to pay attention to the wise people around you, which will bring you the transformation and the change that is needed. Archangel Jophiel, who is our archangel of beauty, our archangel of all things pretty and all things gorgeous. We've got the scissors that is sort of over here, and we've also got a warrior's mask, if I can call it that. Okay, a helmet. Thank you, that's the word, a helmet. And again, what is the helmet all about? It's like going back to Michael, and the helmet is all about protection. It's the same as the pram. It's the same as everything. It's the helmet of protection. But with the area of beauty, with the area of all things pretty and all things gorgeous, this is Jophiel saying to you that, you don't have to hide who you truly are. It's time to recognize your inner beauty. It's time to recognize who you are. It's time to cut away the drama and the chaos in your life. This transformation that needs to happen, this transformation that needs to take place in your life is not going to take place if you are hiding who you truly are. We all like to put, I'm going to call it exteriors on. We all like to wear a mask. And again, the helmet is a form of protection. The helmet is trying to keep you safe, but it's almost like you don't want them to see who you truly are. Because if people see you for who you are, maybe they're going to see your nervousness, they're going to see your fear, they're going to see your panic and your strife. And this is Archangel Jophiel and Archangel Michael telling you to cut it out. I like that. Cut it out. And it's as plain and as simple as that. Cut it out. Take your helmet off. Yes, we always need to know that we are protected. Archangel Michael is protecting us. But the healing that we need to take through, the healing that we need to experience, listen to your elders, listen to the wise people, and don't hide who you truly are. You are beautiful, you are strong, you are brave and courageous. That's what we're getting from all of these. And you need to let yourself be. Archangel Ariel, who is the angel responsible or who looks after and takes care of nature and animals. And what we've got here is a handbag. There's such a theme that's developing here. So what is a handbag? Okay, so a handbag again is a form of protection. It's a form of gathering. And whatever is inside the handbag, by putting it in the handbag, we're hoping to keep it safe. By putting it in the handbag, we're hoping to keep it away from prying eyes. So again, there goes the helmet. But it's also saying to you, we mustn't gather what we don't need. We mustn't hold on to what we don't need. So Archangel Ariel is basically saying to you, we want to achieve greatness. We want to have happiness. We want to be in nature. We want to love the animals. We want to connect with everything. But you can't do everything. You can't be all things to all people all the time. Your handbag has a limit, it has a restriction. It is only a certain size. Yes, we can keep getting bigger handbags, girls. I know that. But still, it doesn't matter how big the handbag is. There are still limits and restrictions with what it is that you can handle and what it is that you need to be focusing on. And honestly, that's what the message is. The message is understanding how protected you are, understanding the healing that needs to take place, the wisdom that is available to you, about revealing who you truly are and being okay with who you truly are, and also about recognizing who and what you are actually. Limit your limits and your capabilities. That's really what Archangel Ariel is saying to you. It's about being mindful of your limits and your capabilities. We have Archangel Azrael. And we all get very nervous when we see these two words, don't we? Death and dying. But Archangel Azrael is the archangel that helps people who transition, the archangel that sort of guides souls from one plane to the next, from one place to the next. We've got the gun here, and I've always been so torn with this particular charm, and I've often thought to myself, I want to take it out. I don't want it in my collection because it represents such negativity. It represents such pain and hurt. But actually, every time I've had that thought of taking the gun out and removing it from my bowl, I'm always reminded by spirit, but hold a second. The gun is not just for murder, not just for killing, not just for endings. The gun is also for protection, okay? The gun can be used and should be used for protection. It should be used to keep you safe. But we also use the gun to initiate the start of something, like when we're about to start a race. Anything that's about to start, a gun signals the beginning and the start. Yes, it happens quickly, it happens fast, but it's so loud you can't ignore it, you can't avoid it. So the message from Archangel Azrael for you here is recognizing the change, because that's what death and dying represents, is all about the change. So the change that is happening for you is happening quickly. Whatever is going on in your life right now, it's not going to be slow and gradual. It's going to be wham, bam, and thank you. It's done. It's fast. And this is, I think, why this message has come through for you here today, is recognizing the speed at which the change takes place. Also, what I'm hearing from Spirit right now is once the gun has been fired, once that shot has been released, there's no takebacks, okay? Once that has happened, we cannot go back and say, actually, no, change my mind, I don't want to do it. Once we fired that shot, it is fired and there is no going back. What I love over here, we have this moustache as well. I'm sort of putting the moustache onto the helmet here as well, and Archangel Jophiel in telling us to cut it out. What does a moustache do? First of all, it is a form of identity. It's a form of recognition. It's a form of standing out and being a bit different, but it could also be used as a form of hiding. If you think about the movies, when a baddie wants to hide their appearance, the first thing they do is put on a false moustache. So it's about not revealing who we truly are. It's about hiding our identity and pretending that we are somebody else. But actually, we can't do that anymore. And that's why the moustache was sort of on the outside, okay? Because on the outside, it's telling us to let it go. It's telling us not to include that into our situation. Archangel Chamuel, with regards to our relationships, there wasn't anything that landed inside of the block, but we do have this guitar and this moon, and I am going to separate them now just so that you can see them quite clearly. I think my guitar was upside down as well. There we go. Okay, so we have the moon and the guitar, and immediately I'm reminded of campfires. Immediately I'm reminded of, you know, sitting next to the fire by the moonlight and listening to some nice, you know, fireside guitar music. And that is what we do with the people that we love, the people that we enjoy spending time with, and that's where we are happiest. The message that we have over here is faithfulness. Oh wow, faithfulness by relationships. So I am going to say to you, once we have revealed our true beauty, our true self, listened to the guidance that is available to us, recognize that things need to shift quite quickly and that we can't be all things to all people all the time. There is healing that needs to take place, and it's sound healing, because that's what I get with the symbol. The sign is about sound. It's about the essence of life. It's about vibration. And Michael is saying that you are safe and you are protected, but we need to use these vibrations. And the moon is a vibration which affects us all a lot. Music is a vibration that affects us all a lot, and it can shift perspectives very, very quickly. But you do need to be, faithfulness is a key here. Faithfulness is something that is clearly important to every single one of you right now watching and listening to this message. Within your relationships, ask yourself, what does that mean? What does faithfulness mean? What does it mean to you? And what is the problem there that needs resolution? And the way that we resolve it is through music, good times with good people, with people that matter in our lives. All right, so friends, that is the charm aspect. I now want to have a look at our tarot, and this is the Osho Zen Tarot. I did shuffle and draw just so that you didn't have to watch me shuffle. The first card we have here is the Four of Pentacles, and it is the card of miser. Now, what is a miser? A miser is somebody who has excess. A miser is somebody who has more than they need, and they hold on to. It's like they don't want to share. They're holding on to, but are they holding on to because of greed? Not necessarily. They're holding on to because they've worked really hard for whatever it is that they have, and they might not want to share easily, but that's why they have excess. So for you as well, the message of the miser, bringing it into this message over here, is understanding that shifts and changes need to happen. The transformation that is happening within you is so, so, so important. But you need to open your purse, and you need to recognize the limits and the restrictions of what you can handle. Listen to the advice of your elders. Listen to the advice of the people around you. And it's time to start being a little bit more open and receptive, is the message that I'm getting. Let's have a look at this one over here. Okay, oh, look at that. Yeah, honestly, I think if I didn't know any better, I would say I cheated and looked at the word, but I promise I didn't. Okay, so we have got the card of receptivity. Receptivity, and that's what I'm saying. With the miser card, it's telling you to be open and receptive to the people that matter in your life, to the situations and the circumstances in your life. With receptivity, okay, first of all, let's just explain that this is the Queen of Cups. That's what this card, you can see this beautiful feminine figure. We have the lotus flower, which has come through really difficult waters and really difficult times. Being receptive means that you are open. Being receptive means that you are open and that you are ready. You are open and ready to accept counsel, to give counsel, to be counsel. You recognize the protection, you recognize the speed at which things are going on. Being receptive to the healing energies that are taking place, but also about being receptive and letting go of these masks and these helmets that we wear, that we try and pretend to be somebody that we're not. That's what the scissors are saying. Let's cut it out. Let's cut it out. Recognize that, you know, we have to do it quickly. It's not something that we can, you know, take our time with. It's time to let go of, and it's time to be faithful to ourselves and to our situations. So friends, that's quite a detailed, involved message, and I'm sure you did get a lot out of that. I do hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please can I have a thumbs up below, and as always, I would love a message from you in the comments. But do have a fabulous day, with love and blessings from my heart to yours. Take care. Hello and welcome to those of you who chose pink tourmaline as the crystal that has the message, the guidance, and the inspiration that you need today. So we are doing things a little bit differently. I have got my angels casting sheet, I have got my charms, and I also have drawn and placed two tarot cards for you as well. So we're going to get straight into it. We're not going to dilly-dally today, and we are going to be using the charm. So for those of you who have not watched one of my charm readings before, please understand that when I am shuffling the charms, the noise can be a little bit loud. So if you are sensitive to sound, or if you have earphones on to listen to me at the moment, when I pick up the bowl and start shuffling, just please feel free to mute the audio so that it doesn't interfere with you. And as soon as you see that I have placed the charms aside, the bowl, you know, you can unmute the audio to return to listen to us. But I am just, this is a warning that it can be quite loud and it can be quite uncomfortable if you are sensitive to sound. Right, I'm going to start shuffling, so this would be a good time to do your muting. See you in a bit. All right, so here we have it. Your charms have been cast. So as you can see, I have got the chosen archangels that I want to work with today, and I have this center circle over here with my logo in, which represents the change and transformation that you need. So the way that we're going to read this is we're going to look at the charms, where they've landed, in which block they've landed, and then we will interpret from there. The first thing that I do always like to look at is, you know, what is common and what is significant, what stands out for me. And actually, it's quite an even mix from what I'm seeing here. Okay, I love how we've got this parrot over here in with Archangel Ariel, who is responsible for and who watches out for our nature and our animals. So I love that we've got the talking parrot there. That's going to be quite an interesting one. We do have an upside down cowboy hat over there as well. We've got the moon. I'm going to leave the moon there, but I do want to just turn my tacky over and we have got a Chinese coin. We have got an sign, which is also upside down or turned around. There we go. We've got a cross over here, and we also have an axe there by Michael. We have an upside down tree. Let's turn that over. And we have a gorgeous ballerina. Is she the right way around? There we go. And we have a crown and a camera. Okay, so how fabulous. Right, everybody's the right way up. I do like to do that, except here I missed him. Faithfulness. All right, so let's have a look and see what is the message, the reading that we have for you today. So I haven't moved the charms too far from where they originally landed. I am going to start with Archangel Michael. And we all know that Archangel Michael, he is our protector, he is our warrior, he is the archangel of protection, and he's the one who takes care of everybody. So it's fascinating that he has the cross with him, and he also has the axe. The cross is bordering on our transformation and change that is needed in our lives right now. The cross, what does the cross represent to me? The cross represents basics. The cross represents the difference between right and wrong, morals, beliefs, structure, and understanding. Whatever that is for you, it doesn't matter what your religion is, but to me, the cross represents basics. It represents the basics of human life and what's right and wrong and what we must and mustn't do, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. And the axe is about cutting, isn't it? But when we use the axe, it's not always to cut a person and to do harm to another individual, but sometimes we use the axe to cut trees. Sometimes we use the axe to cut firewood so that we may cook food and stay warm. So it could be used as a tool of life, or it could be used as a weapon. Michael uses it in both ways, depending on the situation, depending on what's been done that's right and wrong. So the message that I'm getting for you from Archangel Michael is saying to you, understand that you have the tools available to help you in whatever you need help with, whether it is help with protection, whether it is help with food, whether it is help with shelter, to build your own shelter, to grow your own food, whatever it is. But this is his way of saying to you, you know what, we mustn't overcomplicate things. All right, whatever it is that you need help with right now, wherever you need his help in your life right now, we need to keep it simple. We need to not overcomplicate things. take things for what they are, take things at face value, understand things for their purpose, and understand that your protection, that you are safe, that you are protected, but those same tools can be used to make your life easier. But you've got to start looking at things in both ways, looking at things in all ways. We have Archangel Raphael over here, who is the archangel who helps us with physical healing and transformation in ourselves. And the charm that landed there by him is faithfulness, okay? And Archangel Raphael is basically saying to you, healing is something that is ongoing. Healing is something that needs to take place constantly. We don't just do it when we're unwell. We don't just do it when we're sick. We don't just do it when things aren't quite going according to plan. Healing is something that we have to be doing constantly. And when we talk about healing constantly, we're also talking about recognizing that we are constantly improving ourselves and working on ourselves constantly. We don't just do it when there's a problem. Faithfulness is reminding you to stay on that. Faithfulness is telling you to stay committed to the cause. So if you've embarked recently, and this is exactly what I'm hearing, because we've got the tacky close by here. I know the tacky wasn't quite there, but it is still within the triangle of Archangel Raphael. If you recently embarked on a fitness program or an exercise program or a weight loss program or just whatever it may be, this is Archangel Raphael saying to you, well done and congratulations, but stick with it. Don't pack it in too quickly. If you're not seeing the kind of results that you want or that you hope or that you expect, you don't give up. You need to stick it through. You need to persevere. You need to make sure that you have the stamina, I'm hearing, the stamina to persist and to see it through. No giving up. Faithfulness means committed to the end, sticking it through to the end, regardless of what lumps and bumps we develop along the way. Okay, healing is going to take place, healing is going to happen for you, but you need to persist and pursue and keep going. All right. Message from our messenger, Archangel Gabriel. So we don't have any charms that landed within that segment, but we do have this moon charm that was there, close to Gabriel. So we're going to include it. And of course, we have the tacky. So we've already covered the tacky there, but we have to understand that Archangel Gabriel, who is bringing you the message, what does the moon talk about? The moon talks about phases. Whenever I see this moon, I think about the phases of the moon and how we go from a new moon to a full moon to a new moon to a full moon. There are so many different phases, but one thing that we know with the moon is that its phases are consistent. So again, consistency, faithfulness, commitment to the cause, to whatever we're doing, is the message from Archangel Gabriel as well. It's quite interesting. This coin that we have here, if I remember correctly, when it landed, it was sort of over there, which means that it's coming into Jophiel's block as well as Gabriel's block. And this is the coin of luck. Okay, it's the coin of luck. It's the coin of, you have a 50% chance of success and 50% chance of failure. And that's, I think, is also the message that Gabriel is giving you as well, is saying to you, the phase that we're going through now, your luck or your failure is based on your perseverance and your determination to succeed. It's not just down to luck alone. Okay. Archangel Jophiel, again, we didn't have anything that landed specifically in Jophiel's block, but we do have, again, the moon, and we do have the flip of the coin. So I think, again, what this is saying to you is about the phases. And sometimes we have a good phase and sometimes we have a bad phase. When we talk about beauty here, we're not talking about skin deep beauty, or are we? Beauty that we're talking about here is about your physical appearance. But to me, what I'm hearing from Archangel Jophiel right now, it's about your appreciation and how appreciated you are. And it is, there are cycles in life, there are phases in life that we go through where we feel underappreciated, undervalued, and underaccepted for who and what we are. And again, it's saying, don't leave things to chance. Take control. Take control. Don't leave things to chance. Don't just let it be, oh, well, it's just one of those moments where I'm not appreciated or I am underappreciated. Archangel Jophiel is saying to you, you are beautiful, you are amazing, and you are phenomenal. And don't leave things up to chance. Take control. And if you take control and you work that, you will have a better chance of success and feeling beautiful inside and out. All right. Moving on to Archangel Ariel, who is our Archangel of nature and animals. And as I said, I love the fact that we have this talking parrot that immediately fell onto Archangel Ariel. So what does the talking parrot represent? Well, what do parrots do? Parrots mimic. They mimic and copy, don't they? Yes, they have their own personalities, and yes, they have their own understandings of communication, of talking, but generally speaking, everything that they learn is what they've been taught, or what they've picked up from their surroundings. With the cowboy hat that we have over here, cowboy hats are a status symbol. It's recognizing your purpose and your function in life, but it's also supposed to be for protection, to keep the sun out of your eyes and to keep the sun off your neck so that you're not getting overly sunburned. But maybe what this is saying is when you see somebody wearing a cowboy hat and they're looking really cool, you suddenly want to be that person as well. So it's about wanting to copy and wanting to mimic other people's success and other people's good fortunes from what we're understanding. What the parrot is saying to you is that you don't want to be a copycat. And I know I'm saying copycat, but it's actually a parrot, but you understand it. We all need to wear our own hats. We all need to recognize our own identities. We all need to recognize that as animals, because being a human being is an animal. We are animals. We are a huge part of nature. We are nature. Nature is us. But we want to recognize our own individuality. That's what I'm getting from this message from Archangel Ariel, is that we need to acknowledge our individuality. And again, I think this is why the message from Jophiel was about don't leave things to chance, take control, recognize the stages, recognize the phases, but take control of your own transformation. And don't just mimic and copy what you've heard. Don't recite what other people have said. It's about you taking control and being that person and recognizing your own individuality and your own identity and not being a copycat. Okay, here we have Archangel Azrael. Now, I know we don't like these words. I know we fear and we almost hyperventilate when we see the words death and we see the words dying. But it's such a part of our everyday life. And I think as humans, we need to embrace this. We need to not fear this, but we need to embrace this. The message from Archangel Azrael here is saying to you, that things die all the time. Things die every single day. I say things, people, animals, situations, circumstances, loaves of bread. When they get all moldy, they are considered dead and dying, and we need to get rid of them. So the message from Azrael here, the fact that we have got this camera. What does a camera do? A camera takes a snapshot. A camera takes a photo of a situation, of a place, of a event, of a something, of a person, and it almost puts it into a permanency. Okay, so once we've taken a photo, that moment in time is captured for a lifetime. It is recorded, it is kept, it is private. Well, it is celebrated and acknowledged. And this is exactly what Azrael is saying to you. The message from the angel of death, from Archangel Azrael, is always look at your life. Always look at what you're doing, how you're doing it, who you're doing it with, why you're doing it. Take that snapshot and analyze that snapshot and ask yourself, are you happy with what you see? Because when the end comes, and again, I'm not talking about your death, I'm not talking about the ending of your life, but I'm talking about the end of your situation or the end of your circumstance or the end of your trouble, whatever it is that you're currently working through, working on. When the end of something comes, there's no go backs. So take a snapshot, keep doing that, keep taking snapshots of your life, keep looking at it, really looking at it and exploring it and saying to yourself, do I like what I see? Look at yourself in the mirror, look at yourself in the photo. Do you like the person you are? Because if you don't, now is the time to make the change. Now is the time to transform. Now is the time to change, because when the end comes, it's too late. That is the message from Archangel Azrael for you. We also have this crown that sort of is bordering between the two. So just to bring the crown into the message from Archangel Azrael. Crown is somebody significant. Crown is what we put on somebody who needs to stand out above or everybody else. And this is you. This is exactly who you are. You are significant. And Archangel Azrael is saying to you, you are significant. But you need to make sure that you are happy with who you are, not everybody else. It's not about everybody else's opinions. It's about your own opinion about you, not your opinion about other people. That's not what's important. Worrying about other people is not what it's about. It's about worrying about ourselves. Are you happy with who you are? The crown is what we wear for other people to acknowledge us, but we need to acknowledge ourselves. And then we have Archangel Chamuel. So Archangel Chamuel is our archangel of relationships, of joy, and of happiness. And we've got quite a few charms that have come through in Archangel Chamuel's space. So we've got this ballerina. Now, to me, the ballerina is about perfection. We also have a tree. And to me, the tree is about perfection. But both of them actually know the tree. As I'm saying things, I'm hearing different in my head. So the tree is perfect in its imperfections. The tree understands cycles and progresses. A tree is okay to lose all its leaves, knowing that next season it'll just grow new ones and it'll be strong and healthy again. Whereas our ballerina doesn't want to let go of anything. She is all about perfection, perfection, perfection. She never wants to lose her leaves. She never wants to let go of anything. She's not prepared to wait until the next season or the next cycle. And then we've got an symbol over here, which is to me soul. Okay, this talks about soul. This talks about soul honesty and soul transition and soul growth and soul acceptance. And the charm has come through inside my circle of transformation, because that's what the butterfly is all about. It's all about transformation and changing and evolving. So we have to understand the change and the evolution that is taking place. And again, I do believe, I say again, but I haven't mentioned it yet today, but I have mentioned it many times in the past. We are currently, as a human being, as a species, as a race, as a culture, as a people, we are going through major, major evolutionary change at the moment. And we need to either get on board, but we need to let go of this ideal of everything being absolutely perfect. We need to recognize that it's okay to drop some leaves every now and again. It's okay to lose an entire branch every now and again. As long as your roots are strong, you will be okay. As long as your roots go deep, as long as your foundation is solid, you will be okay. Chamuel, Archangel Chamuel's message with regards to relationships, it's first of all, it's your relationship with yourself, but it's also your relationship with other people. If we expect perfection constantly, we are going to set ourselves up for disappointment. Nothing and nobody is perfect. The crown that we have here between the two, again, the crown talks about significance. It talks about, wanting to be better than or seen as more senior or significant than anybody else. And does that really matter? Is that what's truly important? Trees don't compare themselves with their neighbors. Trees don't compare themselves with the tree next door to them. They're only focused on themselves. They're focused on their own root system, and they're focused on being the best tree that they can be, even if that means cutting off dead wood. Even if that means letting go, shedding our leaves, dropping our leaves, so that next season we can start again and be stronger and more better than we have been in the past. So those are your messages from the archangels. We're now going to look at the tarot cards that I have got placed over here. The tarot cards come from the Osho Zen deck. So let's turn them over and see what additional messages we get. So we have the Seven of Pentacles, I think it is. Yes, rainbow is Pentacles. I had to think about that for a second. We have the Seven of Pentacles, and the key word at the bottom here is patience. What we've got, and it's quite interesting, we've got the moon cycles that have come across. We have this beautiful maiden sitting here. Look at her with her beautiful pregnant belly. I'm loving the rainbow colors that we have in the background as well, and the flowing energy, and we've got Archangel Ariel with the nature and everything beautiful. And the key word is patience, and the fact that it's a pregnant tummy, the fact that it's a pregnancy, it takes a period of time. Yes, some babies do come earlier, but that comes with a whole nother, a kind of issues. But it's about recognizing evolution is taking place, and that's what we were talking about over here. Evolution is taking place, but we can't speed it up. We can't hurry it up. We have to allow things to almost unravel in their own time. We have to allow things to happen in their own time and trust that that timing is right. We also here as well, we have going with the flow. Oh, how precious. Going with the flow, what we've got over here, blue is the cups, okay? So going with the flow is basically saying to you that patience. It's about just don't force it, don't try and change it, just allow the current to take you. Go with the current. And you know what they say, if you fall into a river, they tell you to turn on your back, face your feet towards where the river is flowing, and just let it just go with it. As soon as you start fighting and resisting and struggling, you get pulled under, and that's where bad stuff happens. So this message from the archangels, from all the archangels for you today, is basically saying to you, recognize where you are in your life, recognize what's happening in your life. Don't copy and try and mimic everybody else. It's about, are you okay with who you are? Are you okay with where you are at right now? Stick to the commitments that you've made for your own physical being. Recognize that Archangel Michael is there for you, but we need to keep things simple. But we need to not always be chasing perfection. We need to change our perceptions of what is perfection. We need to recognize the change and the transmutation that is taking place in our lives while being patient and going with the flow. So friends, I do hope you enjoyed your reading today. I do hope that there was something in here that just brought you happiness, brought you understanding, and brought you clarity in your life. If you did enjoy, please can I have a thumbs up, and I would love to hear from you in the comments below. But wishing you every happiness. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this for you. With love and blessings from our heart to yours. Take care. Hello and welcome to everybody who chose Pyrite as the crystal that has the message, the reading, the guidance, and the inspiration that you need in your life right now. Welcome. As you can see, we are doing charm readings today, and I do have a casting sheet that I'm using, and it's my Archangel casting sheet that I'm working with. And I've also got 2 tarot cards that I have shuffled and drawn out, and these are from the Osho Zen Tarot. So we're going to get straight into the reading, and we are going to be using the charms. If you've not done a charm reading with me before, when I am shuffling the charms and moving them around, it can get quite noisy. So if you are hearing sensitive, or if you are wearing headphones even, it can get incredibly loud and uncomfortable. So I would suggest that when I start shuffling the cards, the charms, that you maybe mute the audio. And as soon as I place the bowl of charms down over here, you'll know that you can switch your audio back on. But it can get incredibly loud. So just a warning for those of you who are sensitive or wearing headphones. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle. You may now mute your audio. Okay, right. So you're welcome back. Let's have a look and see. So we have some very interesting charms that have landed, and their positionings are quite important and quite significant. Oh, wow. The first thing that I am seeing, the first thing that's jumping out at me is that we have an anchor and we have another anchor. So we've got the 2 anchors that have come through, which is very, very interesting. I just want to turn, some of the charms have landed upside down, and I just want to turn them over, and it's actually just these 3 that have landed upside down. So let me just turn them over. Let me put my crochet hook down. I use that for pointing so that you can see what I'm pointing at without my fingers getting in the way. There we go. Okay. And then the other thing that I want to just adjust here is these 2, just like that. Okay, right, so I haven't moved any of them into a different position. They're all sort of where they were. Okay, so the way that we're looking at this is we've got the archangels that I've chosen to work with today, and we've got the area of speciality, if I may call it that. We are going to note where the charms have where they have landed in relation to the archangel. This center block over here where I have my logo is a butterfly. Butterflies are all about transformation and change, and that's what I'm all about. So anything that lands there is the things, are the parts of your life that needs transformation and change in relation to each of the archangels. And then once we've completed all of that, we will look at the 2 tarot cards that we've got here as well. So we're going to start with Archangel Michael because, yeah, of course, everybody likes and everybody knows and everybody loves our Archangel Michael. There were no charms that landed specifically inside of his area. It's actually only this one that's landed here by Jophiel, but he does have the feather, he does have the anchor, even though it's outside of, I'm still going to include it, just like I'm going to include the snowflake over here as well. But what we also have is we have the scissors that's sort of blending into him there. What does a feather do? A feather is what a bird uses, number one, for mode of transport. My choice of words is terrible. But it's about movement, isn't it? It's about flying. Feathers are used by a bird for flying. What is an anchor? An anchor is used by a ship also for movement, but an anchor is what stops us. A bird is what gives us flight and sets us free. So it's almost like we're stuck, and the phrase I'm hearing, what I'm hearing in my head right now, is stuck between a rock and a hard place, okay? So Archangel Michael, who is our protector, he's all about strength. He's all about, he's our warrior. He's our protector. He's the one who takes care of us and makes sure that we're okay. When we look at an anchor is a big, strong steel device that we drop in. It's heavy, it's got structure, it's strong enough to hold us through, difficult times. But feather is so light. It's so light and it's so delicate and it's so, they are complete opposites of each other, even though they have similar kind of, I'm going to call it purpose or structure. So Archangel Michael's message for you, that what I'm hearing for you on this is that you've got to understand that you are both delicate and solid. You are both light and heavy. You are, and we've got to recognize that life is all about parts of times where we need to be soft and gentle and delicate, and times where we need to be hard and assertive. The scissors that we have, and I don't want to move it too much because it's also falling into Archangel Raphael, but the scissors is basically saying to you, you need to cut out being too much of one or too much of the other. That is the message that I'm hearing from Archangel Michael. It's about recognizing time and a place to be soft and gentle, or to be hard and tough and, solid. But sometimes we feel that if we're too gentle, if we're too delicate, if we're too soft, that we see that as a negative. And sometimes we feel if we're too hard, it's seen as a negative. We only ever see ourselves in a negative light. And this is Michael saying, cut it out. This is Michael saying to you, recognize that each situation or circumstance in your life, each event, requires you to have a little bit of each of these, because balance is actually what's the most important thing. What do we do with scissors? Scissors allow us to cut things out that we don't want anymore, or that we don't need, or to reform a shape of a thing, okay? And again, the scissors have landed in the circle of transformation, and this is exactly what Archangel Michael is telling you. Archangel Michael is saying to you now, it's time to recognize you need equal amounts of both of these, but there are certain situations where you need to be more gentle. There are certain situations where you need to be more strong and more assertive. And there are certain situations where you need equal of each of these. And it's time that you start paying attention to that and not try and be more of that or more of that, about equal parts of that. Okay. We have Raphael here, and Raphael is our Archangel of healing. We don't have too much in Archangel Raphael's triangle, except for a bit of the scissors and possibly even this umbrella right in the middle. I didn't mention the umbrella with Michael, but also umbrella is for protection, to keep you dry in a rainstorm, or to keep you in the shade in the sun. Okay, so again, it's just confirmation, and the fact that this umbrella has landed smack bang in the middle of the chart is also confirmation that we are protected and we are safe, that we have what we need to keep us safe at all times. Raphael with healing, going back to the scissors and bringing the scissors in. The fact that this block has come out fairly empty is also saying that there's not much that needs healing in your life at the moment, except for what needs removing, except for what needs cutting out. Okay, so physically you're okay, mentally, emotionally you're okay, but you know what you need to cut out. And if you don't know, we're certainly going to cover it in the balance of the reading. But Archangel Raphael's message for you is, you know what you need to remove, you know what you need to cut, just get on and do it. Okay. So then we have Archangel Gabriel, who is our messenger. Archangel Gabriel always brings us messages of inspiration, of guidance, of hope. And here we've got what I call my helping hand, okay? So if I just bring it a little bit forward so that you can see it clearly, we have the helping hand. So Archangel Gabriel is telling you, you're not alone. Don't ever feel like you're abandoned, that you're alone, that the angels aren't there for you. The angels are absolutely there for you. I love the fact that we've got the snowflake over here, because even though the snowflake is outside of my circle, I'm still giving it a lot of significance. Because what is a snowflake? First of all, a snowflake, every single snowflake is like a fingerprint. It's completely unique and completely individual. But they're also delicate, okay? A whole bunch of them together gives you strength, all right? They fall under all of that as well. Archangel Gabriel is telling you that you're not alone. If you need help, help is there, but all you've got to do is ask. And if you don't ask, the help is not going to be there. If you don't ask the archangels to help and to guide you, if you don't invite them, it's interesting. I'm suddenly reminded that when that hand landed, it actually landed upside down, which is like a hand asking for help. It's like when you put your hand out and say, please, can I have? So actually, I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to leave it upside down, because that's what Archangel Gabriel is telling you. Don't be afraid to ask for help, and understand that every single person in your life, every single situation, every single thing that you are doing is unique. Nobody is you. You are nobody like nobody else. And your situations are unique. And just because somebody else asked for help and didn't get it, or just because somebody else asked for help and did get it, doesn't mean that that's who you are. It doesn't mean that that's what you have to do. Recognize your uniqueness, recognize your own individual identity, and understand that your relationship with the angels is different. Your relationship with the angels is unique to you. But Archangel Gabriel is saying, we are here. We want to help you. We want to guide you. But if you don't ask, we can't help. Your situation is unique. The help or the solutions or the methods that other people worked through aren't going to work for you, because your situations are unique, and your situations are as special and as unique as you are. Okay, so here we have, and I just want to move them around a little bit, we have got a rhino. And I love the fact that my rhino still has his horn. He has not been dehorned. Pleased to hear that. So he is completely fine. And this is Archangel Jophiel. And Archangel Jophiel is our archangel of all things pretty and all things beautiful and all things perfect. Okay. We have a rhino. Rhinos are, let's be honest, they're not the prettiest of animals. Okay. We have to admit that. But aren't they gorgeous? Just in their own uniqueness. Aren't they gorgeous? Rhinos, they are built for their purpose, their shape, their form, their style, their methods, the way that they do things. What makes them uniquely, truly special is their unique, truly specialness. And what Archangel Jophiel is saying is, we're not saying that you're a rhino, we're not saying that you represent a rhino in any way, shape, or form, but recognize that who you are, your personality, your strengths, your weaknesses, your physical appearance, even your health and your well-being, the things that are right and the things that are wrong with you, everything is what makes you uniquely special. Archangel Jophiel is also, we have the symbol for healing, the symbol for medicine over here as well. So basically saying to you that you've got to recognize your form, you've got to recognize your shape, you've got to recognize who you are, you've got to recognize what it is that you are. This horn, we understand with rhinos being dehorned, it is for their own safety. What do you need to medicate? What do you need to do to yourself to improve on your beauty? So Archangel Jophiel is saying to you, and I'm surprised that this didn't come through on the healing, but maybe this is just the way Spirit wants to get the message across to you. You are unique, you are amazing, and you are wonderful in your own shape, in your own form, in your own thing. But there is definitely something that needs healing. There is definitely something that needs some kind of, I'm going to call it alterations or medication or healing, to help you see your true beauty, to help you see who you truly are and what you're truly made of. So there is something that needs work with, and I don't know if this is physical, emotional, mental, or what it is, but it's got to do with, and actually as I'm saying that, I'm getting Spirit saying, of course it's physical. It's got to do with tangible, because we're looking at beauty, and because we've got the rhino there. The rhino was there about the transformation. So again, we have to talk about the rhino horn and the dehorning that the rhinos are going through in Africa. Just because a rhino has been dehorned, just because a rhino has lost its horn, doesn't mean it's less rhino, doesn't mean that it's less beautiful, doesn't mean that it's less capable of doing whatever he's made to be, or whatever he's made to do. Do you understand? So you there is something that needs treatment, that needs healing, to help with your physical appearance, will help with your beauty, your inner and your outer beauty. Don't delay. Get it done. Okay. Get it done, please. Okay. Right. We're now going to move on to Archangel Ariel, who is the Archangel of Nature and Animals. And the only charm that sort of landed in this block is half of this key. Okay. And I am going to bring back into it our rhino, even though he's not quite in this block. But the key to understanding who we are, understanding the change and the transformation that we need to go through, is we need to understand the nature of things. And the nature of things needs healing. The nature of things, you have the key to heal, to be all that you need to, but you must ask for help. Archangel Gabriel is telling you, you need to ask for help. All right. I wonder how many of you through this whole reading so far, all 14 minutes of it, have been focusing on these two words. How many of you noticed, and how many of you have been like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I know we don't like this. I know it's not a topic of conversation we like to have, and I know we're all afraid, because we don't understand, because we don't know. But Archangel Azrael is the angel of death. Now, what that means is Archangel Azrael is the angel who helps us when we transition, when we go from this world to the next. Archangel Azrael is the angel who helps us. But Archangel Azrael is also the angel who helps us when we've lost somebody. So if you've lost somebody recently, or if you are battling with the loss of a loved one, Archangel Azrael is the angel that you want to call in to help you. We have an anchor here as well, and I have to acknowledge that this anchor is a lot bigger than that one. Okay, it's a lot bigger, and we've also got this key over here. So we have to understand, and also Archangel Azrael's message for us is that life is full of death. Life is full of death. We experience death every single day in so many different ways, shapes, and forms. Doesn't our day end every single day when we transition from day to night? Isn't that the death of the day and the birth of the night? And then in the morning, when the night ends, isn't that the death of the night and the birth of the day? Every day is a rebirth. Every day is a new beginning. And this is what Azrael is saying to us, is we have to recognize the death that we experience every single day. When you complete a project, that project has completed. And when something is completed, it is dead. It is done. It is finished. Okay. When you're, when you sell your car and buy yourself a new one, the one car ceases to exist in your life, and the new car comes in. If you lose something, so if you lose a key, okay, and I'm just putting that there because I'm seeing it. Let's say you lose your set of keys. Those keys no longer cease to exist within your reality. So they have died. Okay, so we do experience death every single day. We do experience death in various different shapes and forms. The message from Archangel Azrael for you here is that you've got to understand this, and that's why I've got the anchor. We've got to understand that death is inevitable. We have to understand that we experience it all day, every day. But we also have to understand that death has the ability to either keep us stuck in one place or to keep us safe as we go through the choppy waters, as we go through the difficulty. The key that Archangel Azrael is saying to you here, the key is to not allow this to hold you back, to not allow the death and the dying and the loss to hold you back. We need to understand that it is what it is. There is a time and a place for it. There is a purpose for it, but the key is to not let it hold us back. It's also interesting here that we have got my symbol. I'm just going to move it a little bit. My symbol for lady, my symbol for feminine energy, the charm that I use to represent feminine energy over there. So we need to nurture, because that's what feminine energy means. Feminine energy is to nurture, to take care of, to look after. We need to nurture ourselves as we go through transition and change. That's the key. The key is to nurture the self through the transition and the change, and to not allow yourself to get bogged down, held back, or restricted in any way, shape, or form. Okay, good. Right, so now we're going to move on to Archangel Chamuel, who is our Archangel of relationships. And here we have got a symbol of house, and we've got a symbol of feminine energy, and I am going to bring the umbrella into it as well, although the umbrella is relevant to each of the areas. So we need to nurture our relationships within our home base. This is the message for each of you watching right now. Those of you who chose the Pyrite. Pyrite is saying to you, Archangel Chamuel is saying to you, it's time to nurture our relationships in our home. Your home is supposed to be your happy place. Your home is supposed to be your sanctuary. It's supposed to be the place where you feel safe, where you feel nourished, where you feel taken care of, and where you feel happiest. And I'm going to take a guess that for all of you right now who are watching this, that there is some kind of challenge or difficulty in the home. There are some things, but we're ignoring it and we're pretending it's not there instead of dealing with it, instead of facing with it straight on. We need to nurture it. We need to nurture our relationships within the home base because it is important. This is supposed to be our safe place. This is supposed to be our safe haven. It's supposed to be the place where we feel safest. All right. The umbrella. Okay, so the umbrella, let's turn the umbrella around. I'm actually going to move that up so that you can see my umbrella nicely. Okay, so first of all, the umbrella is, I did mention earlier on, the umbrella is about protection. We either use an umbrella when it's raining so that we don't get wet. Why don't we want to get wet? Well, because it's not comfortable. We also use an umbrella for shade. Okay, so if it's a bright sunny day and you want to keep yourself out of the sun, so an umbrella is a thing that we use for protection. The fact that our umbrella was here in the middle of our transformation circle, okay, we need to understand that whatever it is that you're going through, all of these challenges, all of these experiences that you are going through at the moment, you are safe. Archangel Michael is taking care of you. Actually, each one of the archangels are taking care of you and keeping you safe. You have the ability to be safe, to be protected. You just need to open it up. If you don't open your umbrella, how can you be safe? If you don't open it up, it's not going to do for you what you need it to. So the options are there and you just need to use them. I now want to look at our tarot just to see what else we get. So let's shuffle and turn it over and have a look. Okay. So this is a Major Arcana card number 20, and it is beyond illusion. I love, immediately I'm seeing the butterfly, and I'm hoping you can see the bright yellow butterfly as well. So it's just confirming that everything that we've spoken about today, every single message that you've given here is about this transformation and change that you were going through. There is a major evolution. We are all evolving. We are all changing. As a human race, we are evolving and changing. And for you at the moment, you can't comprehend. You probably can't see the big picture or can't comprehend the big picture. It is beyond illusion, but you have to trust. You have to trust your angels. Ask for help and recognize that the help that you get will be completely unique and completely special to you. But ask for help. Let the angels help you because this change and this evolution is taking place whether you like it or not. Oh, wow, look at that. Okay, so what we've got here is the Nine of Wands, and its keyword is exhaustion. And of course you are. I'm not surprised, actually, that we have this exhaustion card. And you can see the chaos. You can see how much stuff is going on. And even when we look here, there's so much stuff going on. But you do need to recognize that it's time for change. And you are the only one who can initiate that. But we have to let go of the past and embrace the future. We need to go with this flow of transformation and change. Yes, you are exhausted, but the key word of this tarot card as well with the Nine of Wands is also saying to you, you can't give in just yet. You can't stop just yet because you're so close to achieving everything that you've set out to. You're so close to success. You're so close to happiness. So don't give up just yet. Don't switch off just yet. Persevere, push through. Again, even a worm that transforms into the butterfly, they don't decide halfway through, oh, this is too much hard work, I'm going to stop. They keep going, and I'm sure it's painful for them. I'm sure it's difficult for them. I'm sure it's uncomfortable, but they persevere and they push through until it happens. And when it happens, it's magical and it's beautiful. And that's what's happening here for you. But it is time to make the changes. So friends, I do hope you enjoyed your reading. If you did, please can I have a thumbs up from you? And as always, I would love a little comment from you in the comments below. Take what works for you from this message, and I really hope that it speaks to your heart and soul. With love and blessings from my heart to yours. Until we connect again, take care.